All right, everybody, we are back again. Thank you for sticking with us. Tukey here, joined alongside Mr. Sin for the win. And Sin, we get ready for our second matchup of the day here and now. It is, of course, again, as I will always mention, our two-time defending champions, the first ever back-to-back champions in the ECL Elite Division. It is hREDS taking on HAVU Gaming in what is, again, a gigantic week or so for HAVU here as they continue to kind of move into this new era for the club. And again, as we'll talk about, not exactly off to the most high-flying start. But a quick look at the latest results from around the league, because again, we have action going on, not just here on broadcast. How about that result for Örebro Hockey, pulling off the double over the Falun Coal Miners?
Just a huge result for Örebro, and if you're the Fallen Coal Miners, you keep finding yourself falling a bit further down into the standings here and now struggling with the offense again. And that's not exactly what you want to see, especially if you're Martindale there coming from, Northern Ascendancy squad, which kind of struggled to produce at times. But Örebro, I mean, huge wins for them. And how about Frölunda getting a 6-1 victory over Jypi Vaskala, who, coming back into the Elite Division, definitely have some of those playoff aspirations coming off of a 2-0 over IQ. That's a pretty big blowout loss there against Frölunda.
Goons pulling off the double over Conquer Gaming as well, who have been arguably the biggest surprise of this season. So we'll look right now at the live standings. Again, as always, sportsgamer.gg. Follow along, of course, with all the information that we're showing you here, and of course the statistics side of things as well. Right now, as it stands, unsurprisingly, I'm sure to everybody, hREDS currently number one, right where you want to be. But again, Sim, we do have that bit of a gap. Frölunda, of course, will be the final team to hit double digits in terms of games played. Some teams already over that halfway mark. But look at the difference here. Third place to 12th, all separated by just 3 points. I mean, it's going to take a little bit to see how this all kind of shakes out.
Yeah, and some of the games played differentials are kind of a bit wide, but at the same time, I mean, it's absolutely insane how close it's been. I think we say that almost kind of every season, but every season it just seemingly gets more and more close, and the teams that we keep seeing jumping out to be on that left-hand side of the bracket. I mean, look at Örebro, just a 12 games played, 17 points. I mean, absolutely fantastic. They're a team, in danger of relegation in the last season, and and here they are, pushing for the playoffs in great shape as they approach the midway point in their season. And then you have teams like, HAVU Gaming, who got off to a very slow start, had just one win, I think, through their first 6 games played. They've gotten a bit better now, 4-3-3, but still a lot to be desired and still a lot that they're trying to figure out look at them right now sitting in that 14th place.
Absolutely. As we look at the team's stats, of course, that's not something that we are used to seeing from HAVU Gaming. But as we've talked about, it's a bit of a new era for them. But as you look at these stats for hREDS, they've kept the same team together that has gone back to back. And it's worked out tremendously well through their first 12 games of the season here in our spring season here for ECL 22.
Yeah, absolutely. And why would you change a thing? They almost have a 3-1 goals for, goals against ratio, which is pretty ridiculous. You look at HAVU, now sitting with an even differential. That's not too bad. Their power play is looking good. Penalty kills looking pretty good. But again, this is the ultimate test to see, does this new HAVU squad, now that they're figuring out their lineup, now that they've, won a few in a row, can they compete with a team like hREDS, a team that, if they want to be in the playoffs, if they want to find themselves eventually back in a championship round, you got to think the road would lead through a team like hREDS.
As we get a look here at the team lineups, of course, for hREDS, there is one difference here today, that being in goal, as Mehukati will slot in for the first time, phase out of action here today. But aside from that, it is the rest of the squad that you would expect. Filipoika, Benito, and Nikki Dangles, the front three with Domi and King of Apes on defense. And again, for HAVU, it's been a matter of, trying some different things this season. They welcomed back Polanco. He's alongside Dominoiti. And again, the big story, I think, was, of course, Vilikun, defender on the team, stepping up to replace Flyer Kungan. You have Nasistelia and Sibelius on defense, Hans Celinho between the pipes. And as we get a look here at the center comparison, Sim, between Benito and Dominoiti, these are two of the best that this division has to offer. But obviously right now, Benito in prime form, 2 point per game pace.
Yeah, he's absolutely ridiculous. He's tied for first in goal scoring in the elite division. He's tied for second when it comes to overall points. You maybe kind of expect to see that for a team like hREDS, but it's oh so impressive every time you take a look at it. That being said, Dominotti, historically an incredibly good centerman. You can see that in the face-up percentage. Doesn't quite have, the production that we expect out of him, but this is a transitionary period for HAVU. They're still figuring things out. And again, this is the ultimate test that we're going to see as they go up against the defending champions.
In terms of the wingers, again, Villapoika and Nikki Dangles. Of course, Villapoika's last season really was absolutely stunning. Led the league in points. Still has a fairly impressive total. The last time we saw hREDS on broadcast, we said, "Oh, he's not quite scoring the way that he was before," and then he went off. Just
Yeah.
absolutely went off. So I don't want to put that evil on HAVU. For HAVU, though, again, it is Pawanso back in the elite division, and honestly, Villikun, pretty strong start. 14 points in 10 games. We've seen it before. I mean, the blueprint has been laid out from other players from, that defensive to forward transition. He's not out of place so far.
No, he definitely isn't. He's played a little bit, I think, on the back end as well. When you were on vacation there, Tugi, as HAVU had a completely different look. I mean, Dominointu was back in the point, and Villikun had been back in the point. I think I don't know. They were mixing and matching so much. I can't even remember the lineup. But this seems to be what they started the season with. This seems to be what they had in mind, and it seems to be what they've gone back to. And over the last few games, at least, they're trending in the right direction.
We move over to the defensive matchup here. Again, Domi and King of Apes against Nasistelia and Sibelius. And honestly, sitting across the board, respectable point totals for all four of these guys.
Absolutely. Nothing really to say about it, even production side. But when you think of hREDS, you think of that defensive pairings in hREDS of Domi and King of Apes. You think of the ultimate shutdown, the way they're able to just close out the blue line, the way you have to work so hard just to get the puck in the zone, and you still have to try to battle with those two down low. It's going to be a very tough test for HAVU, who historically have loved that down low cycle. Are they going to be able to pull that off against the pairing of Domi and King of Apes?
And last but not least, of course, the goaltending matchup. Hans Salino, of course, the longtime netminder for HAVU, not where you would expect him to be. And on the flip side, it is Mehukati. Eagle-eyed viewers might recognize, of course, the former Sawo netminder. Took last season off from the Elite Division, was down in pro with the Vexio Lakers. So an experienced goaltender, maybe not the highest career numbers, but is playing behind the best team he's ever played behind here in the Elite Division.
Absolutely, and this is a good kind of a way for him to cut his teeth in the course of this season. Taking on a HAVU team which is maybe not as strong as they once were, but still looking to be competitive, still hungry here, and he's obviously got a great team in front of him who we know is going to defend well. So just needs to kind of stick to what he can do. Work on his positioning, make sure he doesn't overslide and things like that, and I think he'll be just fine.
So with that, again, a few moments away from puck drop, the first game of two between these two clubs. Again, as you would have seen, hREDS 11-1-0 on the season. As we've talked about, Sin, all season long, we have this new split season format for ECL 22. Of course, the old format was just, okay, season 11, season 12. We tried to make things bigger and better here. Again, the split season format potentially all leading to our grand final. hREDS already claimed that €6,000 prize for being the winners of the winter season. If they win the spring season, not only do they get that €6,000, they also automatically get that €10,000 prize for winning the grand final. It is up to another team to step up and win this spring season to hopefully have us see that grand final. Of course, that would be in the middle of June. I'm certainly looking forward to the idea of it, but hREDS look just as good as they ever have. It's so difficult to catch them slipping.
It really is, and it's really hard to kind of picture, some other team to knock them off of the mountain that they've built for themselves, that they've climbed, and they've absolutely earned their spot. And again, it's just really one of, if not the top team in the world right now at the level that they're playing. hREDS just seemingly unbeatable, and they're 8-1 in their last two finals appearances as well. That's completely dominant against a team in Frölunda who, with the championship pedigree that they have. It's absolutely unreal what hREDS have been able to do over the course of the last couple seasons, and if they're able to do it once again here in the spring season, I mean, my goodness.
Again, a reminder as well, these will be the last 2 games of this broadcast, but this Sunday we move into week number 4, Sin, again, of this 6-week campaign. Again, as you get a look there, of course, it is hREDS and HAVU coming up. Of course, we saw the split between ZSC Esports and IQ, but this Sunday, as you see there now, Färjestad in action against the Falun Coal Miners, and we will see HAVU again against Frölunda, which is what makes this matchup so interesting for HAVU. You're taking on the team that essentially kind of usurped not only yourselves, but Frölunda as well as the top team here. It wasn't that long ago. You look at Frölunda and HAVU, and the narrative was it's one of them winning the title until those two teams, dissolve essentially. And that's not how history is going to remember how the past few seasons have played out.
Yeah, absolutely not. hREDS kind of jumped onto the scene, started working their way. They got that first finals appearance, losing to Frölunda, and then they came back with a vengeance, have won 2 straight. That's the new El Clasico, kind of, is, Frölunda and hREDS. We'll have to find a new name for it because I'll always remember El Clasico as Frölunda HAVU here. But what a tough couple broadcast matchups for HAVU. I mean, you just start to get, on the winning side of things. You're now 4-3-3 after starting off like 1-2-3 or something like that. And now you have to face hREDS, and right after that, you have to face Frölunda here. But again, these are teams that you have to beat if you want to get yourself back, onto the top of things and be a success in the playoffs and go after championships again.
Absolutely. So again, we are just about ready to go. A reminder, of course, of some of the things that we have going on through Twitter and Instagram. Make sure to share your best or worst NHL 22 clips for your chance to win some IQ fuel. Use the hashtag eHockeyMoments. We'll be having a winner selected every week until the end of June. And as well, of course, Wilhelm, not only with their eHockey tour, but of course, on the virtual side of things, but of course, as well, throughout Finland every weekend. And again, Turku coming up this Saturday, the place to be again for the Wilhelm eHockey tour. So very intrigued to see how all of that plays out. Sin and I, probably the strongest Wilhelm supporters that have still never had the opportunity to indulge ourselves in some of the fine delicacies that we hope to get our hands on sooner rather than later. But Sin, with that, you see the teams on the ice. It is hREDS in those road cream and red colors, HAVU in the road or in the home black and green, of course, and big time, big opportunity for HAVU to make a statement here.
Absolutely. And if there's that one X factor where they find a way to come on top, it's, Mehukati between the pipes for hREDS. It's a bit of a question mark in an otherwise team that has 0 holes, right? And so that's what HAVU's going to look to try to, capitalize on. But it's going to be tough in itself just to get to that goaltender as we talk about that fabled defense of hREDS.
See what happens here in this one. Here come HAVU. It's Villikun. Got to go back up. Dominointi nowhere to go. It was very interesting to see Dominointi ending up on the defensive side of things. You saw that 56% face-off win percentage. You're dropping Patrice Bergeron down to defense. You're really kind of losing one of your better weapons, which would be more possessions off of those draws. As that shot, second chance, scores! Villapoika, maybe more Sin than any player we have ever seen, just finds a way to get to the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. If it's your first time watching him, you'd say, man, that's one of the luckiest players I've ever seen. But if you see the consistency at which he finds himself in those situations, no luck about it. This man's hockey IQ is off the charts, and that's why he's such a prolific goal scorer. And just like that, his 13th goal this season, he will be, right now, the lone goal-scoring leader of the ECL Elite as he surpassed his teammate, Benito.
Absolutely. So again, under 3 minutes in, hREDS striking early. Worst case scenario for HAVU. Shot from the point, rebound, kicks out below the goal line. Again, you can see hREDS already going for those weird kind of go-to short side angled shots that often do work out for them. Very tough for goaltenders to stop, as now Sestelio will dump this one in for HAVU. Bouncing puck, Villikun, now Dominointi fighting for it. They know where to go, and hREDS right back in on the attack. King of Apes who's trying to step up. There is Villapoica. Looks like Nicky Dangles around the back of the net. D to D here. hREDS firmly entrenched in the attacking zone, and lucky break there. We'll send it back to the neutral zone, and maybe HAVU can kind of reset here and get some momentum. Said than done. hREDS right back in. Benito shot. Good save by Hanselinho. Hanselinho been one of the better goaltenders that we've seen in our time here. Also a phenomenal 1v1 player. Dominoiti for Polanco. And Dominoiti just nowhere to go. Constantly hounded when you have the puck.
Yeah, and that's exactly what hREDS do. Look at them through the neutral zone. They're just constantly all over you, constantly throwing sticks and bodies at you. And again, somehow always being back in position to cover their defensive options as well.
Fortunate offside call there. 8:12 to play here in the first period. Again, the regular season matchup between hREDS and HAVU Gaming was here in the Elite Division. The top 16 teams play each other twice in the regular season. 30 games in total before we head to the playoffs with our top 8. Again, it has been hREDS. 3 straight finals. Back-to-back titles now. Arguably the top team in the world. Not too many teams that can really kind of vie for that crown alongside a team that is this talented. They're back in possession here. Again, leaving HAVU with really nowhere to go. In the attacking zone, we got 5 minutes now. Fortunate offside call there. 5:01 on the clock.
The game's kind of settled down a bit since that first goal by hREDS here, but, you know, they definitely won't kind of mind that. They're very comfortable playing with, you know, any sort of lead, especially if it's a slim lead. Just the way their defense plays, they're able to shut things down so effectively, and they can just frustrate you to the point of all of a sudden there's a tiny bit of gap in your armor, and hREDS are able to score another one, and that's when things can really get out of hand.
Battle along the half wall here, and it's hREDS who are able to come up with it. Benito nowhere to go, and Hanselinho forced to cover there as Nicky Dangles got a piece of it in front of goal.
It's just kind of hREDS, you know, so many times they can just bide their time waiting for their opportunities, and then once they get one of those opportunities, it's amazing how quickly they can snowball and how quickly they can hem you into that offensive zone. Offensive zone draw here. We'll see if Benito can come up with it, but Dominoiti's strong in the dot, as he's always kind of been for years and years here in the Elite. Wins an important one, but that may go down for icing.
And it does, and for HAVU right now, really kind of struggling to get that consistent offensive breakout. In fairness to them, most teams do against hREDS, but again, for them, heading into a situation where, of course, points incredibly valuable, as we saw in the standings, just how close the competition is. What a shot by Villapoica, and out of nowhere, we are tied at 1 apiece. Picture perfect.
A great job. I think that was either Dominoiti or Nasustelli who joined the rush. Polanco on the left-wing side who made that pass all the way over there. A tremendous job to keep that high in the zone as hREDS were looking back to collapse, created a little bit of space. Villapoica is able to rip that shot, goes barring in. Just like that, tie game.
We approach a minute to go here in the first. Villapoica tied for the team lead in goals with Dominoiti, who moves into sole possession of first with that. 7 goals now on the season. Chance here. Good pass broken up there by Benito. Puck turned over. One more chance. Shot. Loose puck still bouncing around. And they survive it. Close call for hREDS. It was nearly HAVU walking away with the lead heading into the second period, but goals for Villapoica and Villapoica cancel each other out, and it's 1 apiece after 20.
Absolutely, a little bit of life, a lot of life in HAVU there, getting that goal and then threatening with another one late in the period there. hREDS gonna maybe, collect themselves a little bit and figure out a way where they can get a bit more offense, a bit more presence, with the possession of the puck, because if we're seeing from HAVU, they can capitalize on their chances too, and they can threaten with even more. They just have that one registered shot, and it did find the back of the net. But, you know, the time on attack was pretty even here. So if HAVU are able to open that up, maybe get a few extra shots and perhaps win some of the puck battles and the puck races, you never know what can happen. They do have the face-off advantage already. We kind of expect that coming out from Dominointi. Benito never really been a dominant force in the face-off and Dominointi, well, kind of always has been here. So that advantage should be with HAVU here. So they need to find a way to take that small victory and turn it into larger ones, whether that be more possession, more shots on net, you know, hopefully even more goals here. That's got to be their goal here. All the details of the game are going to be so important in this matchup.
And second period underway. ECL Elite Division action. Brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Koblenz Lachency, and ST Hockey. So we're here in week 3 of the 6-week regular season. Find out who those top 8 teams will be come playoff time. And huge hit there by hREDS again. 2-time defending champs will certainly find themselves in the mix once again. HAVU, perhaps for the first time, not in a certain spot to be one of those top 8 teams as the face of the league continues to change. However, season we see certain transfers that really kind of change up the dynamic. As a very awkward bounce there will send the puck all the way back to the hRED zone.
Yeah, just really kind of looking to get their own footing going here in this one. We haven't really seen the dominant hREDs that we expect quite yet.
Okay, puck bouncing around there. Villikun able to take it away. Sauce pass that's just broken up. Fighting for it. Again, will be Domi who comes up with it. Can't get it out, though. Dominointi again. Elias can't hold on to it as he was pinching up. Villikun, of course, has no problem covering. Oh, man, that pass in front just out of the reach of Pawansa was Villikun. Was almost able to hold it now. Sin, it's one of those things. Did you see, by the way, the golden helmet wearer for his team? Of course, is Villikun, a golden helmet signifying the team leading scorer for every team that we have. And it's one of those things where, you know, we kind of saw with Färjestad a few seasons ago where Antonio Mannin jumped up to the wing, and it's like, oh, that actually worked out very well. You know, you think about the defensive reliability that this HAVU team should have on paper to make them a tough team to beat. Good block there. We got a very defensively responsible team. Goal scoring might be their biggest issue, or perhaps the penalties, as there will be a trip here that'll see the hREDS power play go to work.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate break for HAVU there as hREDS started to get into that zone, and here's an opportunity now for hREDS to take this lead back on the power play. They have an exceptionally strong, well, all their power teams are really strong. They're, you know, power play 6th best in the league right now.
Against the 8th best penalty kill. Middle of the pack for HAVU. Let's see what happens here. The first man advantage. An easy glove save there for Hanselino. No net front presence for hREDS, so again, a bit of an easy stop.
Yeah, and but you know, never a bad idea to throw that puck on the net. Again, they keep that offensive zone possession here, and they go with that aggressive set with Domi creeping in.
That one dumped out. Good start to this PK here for HAVU. Again, able to get back into this one after the goal from Villikun late in the first period. Good movement there between Domi and King of Apes. Domi still has this one. One-timer, and again, another glove save. Hanselino's vision not disrupted. He's able to make that stop.
Yeah, he's been pretty sharp, but you see what hREDS do so well when they enter that zone. They get a couple quick passes off, and that either freezes up the defense or gets them moving, and both of them can be advantageous. But now we're seeing that wire that the face-off dominance of Dominointi comes in, especially on the PKs. He keeps winning those draws, and it's pretty much becomes a free clear for his team.
A few seconds here. We are back to 5-on-5. A successful kill for HAVU. Stelia battles down low. Puck finds its way to Sibelius. And most known, of course, in this division as a goaltender. Makes that step out. Chance on the short side. Good save there by Hanselino. And I think that was one of the questions heading into this season. I think some might have expected Hanselino to step up out of goal rather than Sibelius, because we have seen Hanselino do it in the past.
Yeah, he played left wing for a season with HAVU and was an absolute beast scoring-wise. It kind of dried up a bit in the playoffs as he... Ugh.
What a save there, and that is probably the reason why you want him in goal. Nerves of steel, tremendous composure on a point-blank chance for Nicky Dangles. Another shot, and again, handles the rebound. Well done. Anselino making some big saves here down the backstretch of the second period.
Absolutely, a bit of a speak of the devil moment there as hREDS got a quick chance off that one time, and he just stood tall and made a massive save to keep this one tied.
HAVU able to get that one out, but again, broken up rather quickly. hREDS keeping that pressure on, but again, we've seen it. One goal can simply come out of nowhere. Nasustelia had a steam shot on. Good save there by Mehukati. Kind of took that one to the chest, maybe not, where Nasustelia wanted that shot.
I really like that coming out from Nasustelia, though, just kind of using his speed and his kind of stored stamina that you often get from playing defense. You don't often use the stamina bar a whole heck of a lot, and he used that up, just went all the way right, cut back, and tried to put a shot on for a rebound.
That one, good save again. Anselino sticking with it. Keeping HAVU in this 1 minute and a half to play now. Here we go, Dominointi. That one thrown on. They've clipped the edge of the skate, and HAVU will get a chance on the power play. Interference is the call against King of Apes.
Yeah, that'll just be one of those kind of little bump plays in the slot right there. I know King of Apes probably not too happy about the way that worked out, but he will sit for two nonetheless. And HAVU Gaming, a big opportunity here on the power play to take a lead. In this one, they are tied for third best power play with about 30%.
What's up, King of Apes remembers to switch that camera here as we can't quite tell what's going on the power play. Oh, boy. Send all hate mail to King of Apes. That is 155 Switch the Camera Avenue. With 28 seconds to go, we have a stoppage of play. Sin, I don't know if we've ever seen that, and it's very funny.
It is hilarious. I'm wondering if he got up and got a drink. Now, it looks like the camera did reset. I'm not too sure if that's him or automatic.
HAVU, a great chance. Better save by Mehukati. They'll squeeze the pads there to keep that one out. Good pressure here from HAVU.
Yeah, that's a good job. I was just trying to make a kind of a comment there. I mean, they get a few quick chances keeping that puck in. Another face-off win by Dominointi.
Another big face-off win indeed. 7 seconds, shot on, save, rebound, wraparound doesn't go. And Nicky Dangles is able to kill it. 1-1 holds through the entirety of the second period. We're going to look at one of the saves here from Mehukati, but this is a, honestly a strong performance here from HAVU at this stage, where it looked like, again, they allowed that opening goal just 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and HAVU's been really kind of coming into their own here a little bit in this matchup. The most important thing is we really haven't seen those dominant offensive zone possessions coming out from hREDS. They're leading in shots. They're leading, in a little bit in the time on attack, but remember, they did have a power play to boot. Now, HAVU's been able to catch up a little bit with that time on attack and getting a lot more registered shots, but on the surface, this is looking like a pretty even matchup, and a much more even matchup than the records would indicate. This is an 11-1 team taking on a 4-3-3 team, but HAVU so far sticking with him, and really, I think Dominointi's doing a great job on the face-offs too. I mean, he won several important ones on the penalty kill, winning some of these on the power play, and those are the little kind of details that HAVU are going to need in this matchup.
So here we go, the action continuing on. It is the third period, the first game between these two clubs. This regular season matchup, and unfortunately for HAVU, and maybe Anselino trying to tell his team that, hey, time's winding down, and indeed we are back. 2 5-on-5 as the puck is dumped in. On the back of the net, Pawanso, he'll kick it back to the point for Nasustelia, who has to protect that puck and take it back to the neutral zone. See what hREDS can do now. The answer, not so much. Again, the early goal for hREDS. HAVU able to battle back into it. All of that in the first period. Stalemated through the second. Good interception there by Villicum, but again, immediately pressured, wins it back. Onside, Pawanso. It's knocked loose by King of Apes. See what happens now. Benito sends it down low, just out of the reach of Nicky Dangles. Fortunate break there. Gets a back shot on, good save. So kicks out to the boards. Puck in front, and another dangerous moment there for HAVU. Reds back in control. Big step up hit there, but they still got the pass away. HAVU holding it in their own zone, trying to fend off this pressure. King of Apes displaying some more phenomenal camera work as this one will go down for icing.
Yeah, well, you had to keep an eye on Dominointi there, who was cherry picking. Surprisingly, it's Dominointi all the way up the ice, cherry picking right there. Looks like HAVU trying to, keep throwing hREDS for a loop right there, looking to stretch them out, maybe get one of those Omaha passes going. So interesting plays coming out from HAVU here as they continue to kind of throw or attempt to throw different things on hREDS and not allow them to, I don't know, be able to shut things down as they're used to, or at least be as comfortable as they're used to.
Apes for Domi, another big save. Hanselino approaching double digits, if not already there. A big-time performance from him, but unfortunately, it's another icing call against HAVU. They can't quite get the offense going.
And this is just, still in good shape back and forth, but you can't keep giving hREDS these little kind of micro victories here, and, eventually they will make you pay for it.
Off the draw. Benito, second chance again blocked. Spellius tried to go around the back, didn't get anything on the pass. Villapoika, ever dangerous, goes to King of Apes at the point. Shot bouncing around Nasastelia. And we saw an own goal in that first series. And we almost saw another one.
Absolutely, you just got the puck pick up and dragged it straight into Hanselino there, but fortunately for him, he was able to keep that one out and make the cover.
Is HAVU in control off the draw. Lucky break there. It's Villicum is able to come up with it. Has help. Shot, kick, save. A rebound controlled by Domi. It sends hREDS right back down the other way. Elias able to strip him of the puck there and see what HAVU can do. Again, so much pressure as you try to get that puck out. Dominointi gains the line. Benito with an interception. 6.5 minutes to play. As we always say, next goal could be the winner. We get down to the latter stages of regulation. Another good stop by Hanselino. No rebound to be found.
And on the flip side, on the opposite side, it was a great job for Dominointi to gain the line, but that was as far as they got. You saw just the sheer amount of effort it takes for him to gain the line with possession, and then they don't get much further from that. And this is where hREDS get dangerous. They shut you down at the blue line, they counterattack, and they keep getting the puck back in their hands.
At the point, D to D. King of Apes, it's blocked by his own man. Benito just couldn't quite get out of the way of it. Spellius had a steam down through the slot, just out of the reach of Pawanso. Offside call there, 4-1-1 to go, and HAVU getting that much closer, Sin, to a very important point, and I think that's how most teams view it.
Yeah.
In the in the league this season is, at least against HAVU, or at least against hREDS, get to overtime, and I think HAVU find themselves probably with that mindset, but obviously 2 points would be great as well.
Absolutely, and you don't want to get yourself, too married to that idea, because if you sit back and hREDS sense any sort of weakness, they will pounce on that right now. And I do like from HAVU, they are still trying to attack, maybe not stretch the game out as much as they've attempted in the past, but right now we got about 3 offsides in a row here as time's ticking away, and we remember, I think it was hREDS and HAVU who spawned the birth of what was Marathon Monday, as they had a quadruple overtime game one time, and I think it was tied at 1 as well. So the stage perhaps getting set for something like that as an offside again, and hREDS will pretty much get a free possession.
The game continues to haunt me. Who knows, maybe it's time for a new chapter in that personal nightmare. Poika rifles one through, goes back to the neutral zone, 1.5 minutes. Away from potential overtime as the HAVU here off of the bounce. Billy Kuhn in front, bouncing around. Pawanso had a great chance. Mehukati able to deny him.
Yeah, he kept it out, but it was a follow-up opportunity, which would have been the scariest. There was room on that glove side. Puanzo simply couldn't get his stick on the follow-up opportunity there, and Mahukati gets the cover.
Another big face-off here. Clean win for Benito. Don't see too many of those against Dominointi for HAVU. A loose puck recovered. hREDS sending it down low. Villapoica back to the point now for Domi. Essentially ended up as a self-pass. He dangles one as Villapoica in front. Good interception. Better stretch pass there. Villikun and Dominointi. Loose puck. Sibelius is there, and a big swing and a miss from Puanzo. 20 seconds now. Benito was back for King of Apes. The Domi back. Again, shot through the traffic, and somehow Hanselino able to make the clean save.
How did that even get its way towards the net, too? There's so many bodies there and sticks. It looks like it was deflected. He still came up with the save. That was impressive to say the least, that it even made it through, but a more impressive save.
Again, King of Apes, big save. Rebound handled by Nasu Stelia. Final 5 seconds. HAVU at least get it out of the zone. Domi. And that'll do it. Each team earning a point. We go to overtime. Big save late by Mahukati to help secure that, but obviously Hanselino deserves some credit as well.
Absolutely. Both goaltenders really played well when they needed to there. Obviously, more action probably faced for Hanselino, but this is a massive, massive point for HAVU Gaming here. You know, you got to appreciate everything that you're able to get against a team like hREDS, and the 1 point here is great. If they're able to secure 2, I would think they would consider it a job well done in this matchup here. And in overtime, anything can happen. A bounce, you know, just one chance is all you need. It's exactly what HAVU's going to be looking for here. And if you're hREDS, it's been tough to get the amount of chances, at least A-grade chances, that you're usually accustomed to here against HAVU, because they've been defending extraordinarily well. They've historically always been a good defensive team. They're really starting to figure it out here as the season goes along, and that could be very good news for their squad and pretty dire news for some of those kind of young upstart teams who are find themselves right now in a playoff position. HAVU could be coming for your spot.
They're in the attacking zone only momentarily. The end sudden death rules will be here for as long, or perhaps as little as it takes. Puck still in danger. So Stelia able to settle it down. Goes for that quick outlet. Good catch in center field by Domi. Another offside call.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of creativity coming out from HAVU on the breakouts. They know how hard it is to beat the neutral zone setup of hREDS, so you try to stretch that out, go for those kind of, you know, dumps right there where they're trying to get it to Villikun. He's often one of the first ones to leave the zone as well, which is kind of interesting considering his history as a defenseman. You'd think, maybe he'd be more defensive-minded, but he's not afraid to try to stretch the game out, and people are not, his teammates, not afraid to try to feed him the puck either. He was always a great scorer on the back end when he played for HAVU, and that's really carried over and helped his game as he switched to wing.
HAVU trying to gain the line cleanly, no room, and it is Benito to take it away now for hREDS. We've talked about it. HAVU struggling, in the early stages of the season, kind of getting momentum back, and what a reward. You run into hREDS, and again this Sunday you have to play Frölunda and former captain Flyer Kungen. Maybe there's a surprise in store. They have held hREDS to just the 1 goal, which again came within the first 3 minutes of the first period. So their defense has been phenomenal, as well as the goaltending, but offensively shows how difficult it is to break down the team in front of you, even with their backup goaltender in. And Benito on the backhand sneaks it through. hREDS get the win here in overtime.
And it happens as quickly as that. Just kind of a bang-bang play there. It finds its way to the slot. Benito takes a quick whack at it as it bounces to him, slides through the 5-hole of Hanselino, and hREDS are able to pick up that second and an important point here. Perhaps you could argue more so important for HAVU here, but hREDS, they don't like to lose. They love to win, as evidenced now by a 12-1 record. HAVU will fall to 4-3-4, but still, in a matchup like this, picking up that point in this game is big, but missing out on that second one, definitely something that they're going to kind of want back here. So as they prepare for the second game, they'll be looking for ways where they can establish more offense. They were great defensively, but they're going to need to get a bit more offense against this hREDS team because, number one, it's not often you'll hold them to just one goal. Number two, if you do hold them to one goal again, you want to try to capitalize on it before, hREDS are able to kind of work their way back or get into an overtime situation and put your back up against the wall and get that game-winning goal, as Benito did just there.
An .870 save percentage for Hanselino in the loss. He did all he could to hold his team in it. But again, it is hREDS getting the winner here, and we got to look at the goals. Got to look at that OT winner first and foremost, and Sin, let's see how this one played out.
Yeah, it was just a quick shot on by Nicky Dangles. That he was just trying to putting that puck on the net. Maybe it was even poked off of his stick. No, he did get the shot away, and then I think it bounced off the goaltender first and went straight to Benito here. But it's going off of the leg.
Oof, off of the legs, 5-hole.
Poinso, and here's the classic King of Apes zoom in, zoom out on your name. Not a whole lot Poinso could have done in that situation.
We often talk about it when you have such a highly contested, game with two teams of this caliber. It often will be a goal like that. A couple of lucky bounces, a lucky puck pickup. You never quite know how it's going to happen, but oftentimes you get to overtime and there's going to be a team that feels really hard done by the game in terms of how the goal goes in.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of hard to really argue with that. I mean, it's just, but bounces happen. That's why you try to put yourself in a situation to where it won't pan out to that. And that was just an excellent job by Poinso for the spin pass to set up Villikun into the high slot the way he did. And obviously we saw the shot that Villikun was able to take and beat Mehukati with. But again, an extra point that HAVU would have loved to get, but coming away with one, still a tiny victory in itself against the first place team and the reigning two-time defending champs in hREDS.
So a big result there for hREDS to get the win. We still have one more game coming up between these two teams. It will be our fourth and final game of the broadcast. We'll be back after a quick word from our sponsors and set the stage for you. Don't go. All right, everybody, we are back. Again, a big thank you for sticking with us. A big thank you, of course, to Wilhelm as well. Of course, they have the eHockey Tour going on. And, of course, we want to implore you through Twitter and Instagram. Use the hashtag eHockeyMoments. Send us your best and perhaps more importantly, your worst clips from NHL 22 for a chance to walk away with some IQ fuel. We are giving away and having winners selected every week until the end of June. So again, that's hashtag eHockeyMoments. Sin, even I might have to go through the backlog to look up some of the best and the worst. Although, again, feel like the worst are a lot easier to find on occasion.
At least at the level that we play at, absolutely. We've seemed to come across a lot of, we'll call them dang-its of our own across our time playing NHL 22 together, that's for sure. But these two teams, probably not so much. A lot more highlights as compared to their lowlights. But if you ask HAVU, maybe they're thinking some of those bounces at the end of overtime, a bit more on the low-light side of things, so they'll try to bounce back here in this game.
Absolutely. So again, a huge moment here for the likes of HAVU. hREDS obviously well on their way to being in playoff contention again, if not being the #1 seed for HAVU Gaming, who are here in their road white uniforms. Again, that brand new era for them. We look at some of the games coming up, including again that series on Sunday against Frölunda. Again, times as uncertain as they have ever been for this club. There's hREDS here in the attacking zone. Puck down low for Nicky Dangles. Tried to go back to Benito. And both Villapoica and Benito scoring. Now once again tied for the team leading goals with 13. Also tied, I believe, still at the top of the league in terms of goals for. Alonso has it here. Ran out of room, but does get it back. And again, that pass broken up. Villapoica all over it. See what Benito can do. Elects to go down low for Nicky Dangles. Back to the point. King of Apes. Runs out of space. HAVU doing a good job of sticking with hREDS, who of course have to try to extend the play to get those shooting and passing lanes. Sibelius, that shot blocked down. Quickly back to Nicky Dangles. Good job by Nasu Stelia to take it away. Seems that we might have a similar pace to this game, at least for the opening few minutes or so. There was a delayed call. Dominoiti driving the nets. Puck is touched up, so HAVU, a power play off of the interference penalty to King of Apes, and let's hope he remembers to switch his camera this time.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Oh, King of Apes in the box. We may get a beautiful view of center ice here, but no, this is a huge, huge moment if you're HAVU Gaming here to take maybe the early advantage, something that they didn't have in that first game. Obviously never had a lead. They were down and then tied it and then, of course, lost in overtime. Let's see what they can do here on this power play.
Domi able to get that one up to Villapoica. hREDS might be going for the short-handed bid. Nicky Dangles just offside. Not a strong start to the HAVU man advantage.
Nope, they have to do a neutral zone draw now, as Dominoiti did lose that first draw in the offensive zone. That's something that you want him to win, maybe even expect him to win at times. He wins that one, so see if they can gain the line quickly.
Into the attacking zone. It is HAVU on this man advantage. Didn't take advantage of the power play chances in that first game. Spelius back for Dominoiti. Finds its way to Nasistelia. Wanted Dominoiti. Great defensive work there from Villapoica. Maybe even a lucky bounce off the skate. Take that one away. Pawanso going to give chase. No icing. 20 seconds on the man advantage. Down low, Pawanso. And his pass off the mark goes from bad to worse for HAVU, as since they weren't really able to test Mehukati on that power play opportunity.
No, some decent zone time, but every time they tried to work into a scoring location, something went wrong. That first initial on the previous possession when they tried to feed it back to Dominoiti through, and you mentioned maybe it hit like someone's skate and it was broken up, and then that one right there, Pawanso has it behind the net, trying to establish himself, looks to find Nasustelli, and just is simply off on the pass there, so kind of a whole lot of nothing on the power play despite the zone time.
Into the attacking zone. Now it is Benito holding it. Scored the OT winner in the last one. Domi exploring some options. Goes down for Nicky Dangles. And right back to the point. Great reach and a break up there by Sibelius. That puck finds its way to Nasistelia. Pawanso shot. Good block. Loose puck in front. Picked up by King of Apes. Let's see what hREDS can do back in the attacking zone. Shot on, nearly caught. Was Hanselino, great positioning. Kati has to play that one off the pads. 6 minutes to go here. Still waiting for our first breakthrough. A rather methodical pace between these two teams, defensively on point.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's a very, like you said, kind of back and forth, but very much a deliberate pace from both of these teams, as attempt from HAVU to get that into the slot just doesn't connect.
Sibelius still fighting for it. Dominoiti has it. Few options to the point. Shot blocked again. This one's going to go back to the neutral zone. hREDS are able to pick it up. Domi, 2.5 minutes to play in the first period. Shot just wide. It's a bit of a sharp angle for King of Apes. Nearly got it. So again, it is hREDS. Back into the zone. Domi pinching in. See what he can do. A tour of the zone. Still holding on to it. Finally likes to go to Villapoica before getting it right back. Shot deflected off the posts. Almost luring HAVU into a false sense of security. One more chance at the buzzer is stopped.
Wow.
And Hanselino with a clutch save. We go to the second period, still goalless.
And that was a heck of a deflection coming out from Nicky Dangles. We see a bone-crushing hit. I think that was Pawanso laying the body on most likely Domi back there, but that was an insane deflection by Nicky Dangles. And speaking of Domi, I mean, that tour of the offensive zone that he took was absolutely phenomenal. Just 2 registered shots in that period, both of them in favor of hREDS, and that kind of goes to show you how ineffective that power play of HAVU was, despite having, you know, some zone time. They just really couldn't get into a zone where they were able to put a shot on, and that's something that I think they're going to have to do here in the second period, is just throw some shots on. We saw it a bit from hREDS there. A lot of shots were being blocked, or on the case of that deflection, hit the post, so it's not a registered shot. We got a quick glimpse of it right there in the window of the action tracker, but that could have easily been 1-0 here. Quick, a burst of offense from hREDS at the end of that first.
Second period underway. Again, ECL Elite Division action. Brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Kovan Lakritzi, and ST Hockey. Nervous moments for Hans Salino to start off this second period. It was a 2-1 overtime victory for hREDS in game 1. And we're still looking for our first goal in this one. Mehukati able to make the save. Again, filling in for FaZe between the pipes for hREDS for the first time this season. See what happens on this face-off. Again, Dominointi. To a bit of a slow start compared to what we normally expect. You expect any center to really be able to give him a run for his money in the dot. Benito would probably be the top option. D to D, blocked down. Still fighting for it, and a loose puck all the way back to the HAVU zone. See what this breakout looks like here. You never know. hREDS, they're so deceptive. And now it looks like they're going to just go back into a trap, and then all of a sudden, all three forwards kind of flip and go right in on the attack. Benito for Nicky Dangles. HAVU continuing to try to work the dump and chase. Is Dominointi. Finds its way to Nasistelia. Turns it over. One-timer scores! A mistake you simply cannot make against the two-time defending champions. Villapoika has the breakthrough.
Yeah, just an excellent job by hREDS right there on the forecheck. They're forcing out the mistake from HAVU Gaming, and you said it, passing that puck there simply cannot happen. Picked off by, I think it was Benito, who then fed it over to Villapoika, who blasted that one home on the blocker side, and hREDS take a 1-0 lead. They score the first goal once again. HAVU on the back foot.
Initially, it was a pass from Dominointi back to Nasistelia that went off the boards. Trouble again around the HAVU goal. The Apes has it. Nicky Dangles with a snipe and a half. hREDS double it up. It's 2-0. What a shot.
Absolutely, a heck of a shot coming out from Nicky Dangles. Just, I think, his 7th goal of the season here, but a beauty it was, leading the ECL Elite in assists, and gets himself a very beautiful goal right there, just picking that glove side, and just like that, hREDS are up 2-0 after, we'll call it a little bit of suspect play in their own end from HAVU, some self-inflicted wounds here, which lead to hREDS being able to, get that offense and get the chances they were able to capitalize on.
Well, for HAVU now, you have one goal through about 5 periods of play. Suddenly you're in need of 2 just to try to get back into this. Not potentially more as hREDS. Again, set up in the offensive zone. Here's Benito. Again, tried to find Villapoika in front. Dominointi now. What a pickoff by King of Apes. Eludes Pawanso. Halfway through the second. Benito in front, bouncing around, still there. Nicky Dangles had a piece of it. Villapoika denied by the blocker of Anselino. Job by Villikun to take that one away. Pawanso trying to generate speed. Back for Villikun. Couldn't get a shot off. Loose puck out to the corner.
Tremendous back check from hREDS right there to break that one up. That was a nice bit of opportunity for HAVU, but unfortunately for them, they just couldn't get a clean look.
Bit of contact, driving the net. Anselino forced to cover. 6.5 to play here in the second period. Again, now 2 goals. The opening 14 minutes of this for hREDS.
It's a good thing he was able to cover. Villapoika was sitting right there on the doorstep trying to take a whack at that puck as they hit the ice.
This one dumped over. Again, picked off by Domi. Right back in on the attack are hREDS. Benito, his shot. Coming off a skate in front. Regardless, Anselino able to cover.
Right now, HAVU's having trouble being able to work it out at their own end here, and hREDS are really starting to to put the shots on here and keep the puck in, hem HAVU in, and when you're down by 2, that's not what you want to see.
It's Domi. All over the place, that left-hand side of the ice. King of Apes keeps it in, drops it back down to the corner. Just relentless pressure from the champs is Benito. The second you lose the puck, someone else is there to pick it right back up. Nicky Dangle steps in. Good blocker save on the short side by Hanselino. We have 3 minutes to go. This one again back to the neutral zone.
Yeah, HAVU having such trouble gaining the line here, as we often see. They do there for a second, but immediately poked off. Trouble with it, and right back out for hREDS. They're just so dominant.
Domi for Villapoica, now Benito. Out of the reach of Nicky Dangles. Final minute. Here's a bit of space now for HAVU. Rocket pass. Polanco. Stripped of the puck by Domi. Final 10 seconds. Polanco. Bumped off again by Villapoica. Nowhere to go. 2 seconds to play. And that will do it. A 2-0 lead now here for hREDS heading into the third period.
Yep, and it's getting extremely dangerous when it comes to HAVU. They're stretching the game out, trying to beat that neutral zone collapse. But even when they do, again, you have some of the two of the best defensemen back there to beat in Domi and King of Apes, and their active sticks have just worked wonders for them so far. Their positioning has been good. Their gap control, excellent. And, you know, when they're not poking, they're able to get those little bumps or just kind of box you out, slow you down for the back checkers to get to you as well. It's just, there's so little time and space for HAVU, and another period goes by, 0 registered shots for HAVU Gaming. That simply can't stand. Like, you have to be able to put the puck on net. I know they're maybe going for some higher quality chances here, but they haven't been able to do that, and they haven't really been able to put anything on Mehukati back there. You have to test him. And that's simply not what you're able to do, like, in those first 2 periods. I mean, 0 shots, that's not exactly what you want to see, especially when you're already struggling to score, especially when you're down by 2 goals here. And see what hREDS are going to be able to do here going into the third period, as they have the puck briefly in the neutral zone now. HAVU gaining the line, trying to get that one down low, but hREDS once again coming up with the possession. Beautiful pass to the wing now. Villapoica cutting to the net there. Disrupted by Poinso. And here come HAVU. Dominointi over to Nasustelia. Sends it back to Poinso here, but that's a turnover once again. Nicky Dangles leading the rush out. All the way over to Domi, who gains the line. Domi skating towards the middle. Domi puts one on. Another swipe at it. Another, a third, fourth chance. Hanselino closing off the short side and getting that cover.
And a slash for good measure right at the end there. The feistiness coming out. Hanselino, you know, despite the 2 goals against, it has been a very strong performance here in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to always keep everything out, especially with some of the chances that hREDS have been throwing at him.
Indeed, as again, HAVU struggling to get something going through that neutral zone. We'll see what they're able to do here on this possession. I mean, obviously a goal, the sooner you can get it, maybe get some momentum back in your favor. A 2-goal lead, not insurmountable. Again, a creative pass from King of Apes, just nobody home that time. And an offside call here. Seen far too many of those this afternoon here, Sim.
Absolutely, and I really thought that was almost a clean zone entry. I didn't see the notification pop up. I was like, oh wait, they can gain the line. Can they make that secondary pass? But no, they didn't even actually gain the line. They went offside right there, and that's just been the struggle here. We're already almost halfway through the third, and that 2-goal lead still intact for hREDS, and I believe HAVU still looking for their first registered shot.
A super strong effort on the face-offs as well from Benito. And Domi entering play today with the 56% win percentage. Strong effort in the first game, but Benito that is number here in this one. Space now. Villapoica, 1 man to beat. Back skating, throws one on. Loose in front, they score! King of Apes gets involved in the offensive side of things. 3-0 now for hREDS. This one most certainly over.
Absolutely, and that's why when you're able to drive that net and you put the puck on net, good things can happen right there. King of Apes joining the rush, getting in down low with the two forwards, is able to pick that one up, cleaning up the trash in front. 3-0 hREDS, 12:33 left. Again, HAVU still without a registered shot. You don't want to say it's over until it's over, but in this case, with the way things have gone so far, HAVU simply haven't shown that they could come back and even score a goal, much less 3.
That one poked towards the net. Little Poika back to the point. D to D. Great block there. Now Sestelia back in possession. So frustrating times here for HAVU. Such a strong performance in that first game defensively. Unfortunately, the dam couldn't hold. Mehukati makes the save. And Sid, that's really the story of the night. They just haven't been able to pressure Mehukati in his season debut.
Yeah, that was their first shot of the game coming about midway through the third period, and that it goes to show it's a bit of, great job by hREDS, but also, HAVU has had the zone time. I believe they had that power play earlier. They didn't register a single shot, maybe looking for something a bit too perfect, and that's hard to come by playing against a team like hREDS. Sometimes you just got to throw that puck on net, try to crash for rebounds and other things of that nature.
8.5 to go. It's hREDS sending it back. And here we go now. Maybe a little bit of space for Palazzo. That is probably the most frustrating thing about playing hREDS.
Yeah.
The second you have some hope and optimism that you might have some space, it disappears before you can even realize what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful move by Palazzo with a stick to gain some space, sort of split the defense. He had like a half a step on him. Then guess what? Two skill sticks are right in your grill, knocking that puck loose.
This is Villapoica. Mickey dangles. It's down low for Benito. There's a few options here. Defending there from Villicoon, but again, just nowhere to go. It has been a masterclass here from hREDS in the second leg. That one over the head of Villicoon. He will chase it down to nullify the icing. Shot from Palazzo. And Mehukati's certainly not going to risk it with 3:11 to go.
Absolutely not. I mean, that's kind of what we've seen coming out from HAVU a few times, just throwing that puck out, and that time goes all the way down. Villicoon wins the race. A quick pass back to Palazzo, hoping maybe he can catch the short side of it, but Mehukati on his angles gets another big save.
That one broken up. Chance, big flying poke check, nearly own goal and a random stoppage. Sin, I honestly think that was a goal, and the game didn't know how to register it, so we have a face-off.
Yeah, because he kind of drug it towards the net. Maybe it did that thing where it goes through the side of the net from the post, but that would mean it's behind the red line?
And a goal for King of Apes, his second of the game, 4-0. 4 hREDS goes from bad to worse for HAVU.
Well, there's your, what we like to say, it all comes out in the wash, or the puck don't lie, whatever cliche that you prefer right there. King of Apes cleans it up with his second goal of the night as he skates towards the center ice and points at the back of his jersey. A very fitting celebration, I'd say, for the personality of King of Apes.
So 1.5 to go here. hREDS going to be moving to 13-1-0. And a gigantic hip check. He'll be moving to a hospital bed. 55 to play now. Again, such an impressive performance from this team. Shot on, good stop by Hanselino, but now, we look ahead to what this might mean for HAVU. Again, we know when their next broadcast game will be. We'll have more info for you on that upon the conclusion of this game, and it's Villicoon who breaks the shutout with a hair under 35 seconds to go. Heartbreak for Mehukati.
Yeah, definitely been a heartbreak, but a goal from Villicoon that he wishes he would have gotten a bit earlier in it. I mean, personal success is great. He's had a good goal-scoring season, continuing to lead the way for his squad. That's 8 goals on the season for him, putting him well out in front of the rest of them, but with just 30 seconds left, all that really does is spoil the shutout.
You take the victory where you can get it, and again, we always talk about goal differential being a potential factor in the standings down the stretch. So an extra goal or two will simply never hurt, even if the victory is out of reach as we hit the final 10 seconds of play. The late goal from HAVU only serves to soften the blow. Perhaps one more chance here for Benito. Goes to the wayside. hREDS pull off the double over HAVU, walking away with 4 points. And again, for HAVU Gaming, just the 1 point to show for their efforts.
Yeah, and that's, again, a point's a point at the end of the day, but they definitely would have wanted more. They definitely would have wanted a better effort in that in that second game right there, but they simply weren't able to ever mount an attack as the defensive hREDS completely swallowed them up. Even on their power play, they couldn't get in the position they wanted to take the shot. By the time they elected just to start throwing it on net, too little, too late. They got the shutout spoiler from Billy Kuhn, but it was already, 4-goal deficit by that point. They shorten it to 3 goals with 30 seconds left. That's, you're not going to score 3 goals on hREDS in 30 seconds, and kind of goes by the wayside. hREDS get another huge 4 points to them. They move to 13-1-0 on the season, and they're virtually at their midway point and looking incredibly good as they'll maintain that 1 seed in the ECL Elite.
One more look at that last goal there for HAVU to at least take away that shutout from Mehukati, who does go 2-0 in his season debut. Again, the backup for FaZe. Always nice, of course, to get those stops when you have a consistent goaltender of the year caliber goalie doing the pipes for you. So, a big result. As you get a look there at some of the stats, and Sin again, just 3 shots for HAVU in that game in terms of shots on target.
Yeah, and again, not going to be enough. They didn't even get those until after the midway point of the third period. So, averaging 1 shot per period, definitely not what you want to see. And definitely you can't do that against a team like hREDS. You got to take your chances when they're there. We're getting a great look at that first one coming out from Villapoica. Just a rough pass there as they tried to get that on the breakout. Go straight to... I believe, it would have been Benito there as Nicky Dangles was the one in on the forecheck near the board. So Benito makes the intercept, quick pass over to Villapoica. All things fair, Hanselino almost makes the save. He gets a piece of it, but the shot power too much. Speaking of shot power, Nicky Dangles there getting that snipe. Nice pass by King of Apes right there. Makes the space as Nicky Dangles turns and presents that backhand of his stick so that he can rip it on the forehand immediately. Beats Hanselino glove side, and this third one, I believe, was the, everyone just kind of crashed in the net right there and sort of went off the glove of Hanselino, went off someone as he tried to cover it and went straight to King of Apes' stick. It's a nice bit of L-skating coming out from Benito to send that one through, and King of Apes cleaning it up. And the last one here, just a little bit of icing on the cake here. Another shot from the point.
Indeed, one more look. It deflects, but you get chances of that caliber, Sin. Eventually, they are going to find their way to the back of the net. Be intrigued to get a slower look at that deflection. Tough to tell who exactly it banked off of. But regardless, the result is the same. As again, this was HAVU's lone goal right at the end. A bit of a defensive slip up there for hREDS, which, as we saw by the action today, doesn't happen all that often.
No, absolutely not. And a good job from HAVU to be able to capitalize on that. As we're getting, he's calling out Benito. Yeah, you got to make that play, buddy. But overall a great performance, of course, by hREDS. HAVU gave us kind of a lot of hope in that first one with the way they played, but they weren't able to duplicate that effort. Obviously, they couldn't get the puck in the net, and they really generated almost nothing on the offensive side of things. And so they walk away with 1 point, which isn't bad, but they're now, I think, they're going to be 4-4-4 on the season. So even 500 across the board, and their schedule doesn't get easier in their next broadcast when they have to take on Frölunda.
Well, Sin mentioned it. This Sunday, we will be back. Again, our special start time on Sundays this season. Again, 2 hours earlier, 17:45 CEST. It will be HAVU taking on Frölunda. Again, Flyer Coogan, the former captain of HAVU, takes on his former squad for the first time as well. Färjestad taking on the Fallon Coal Miners. So there's some history there between those two clubs as well, at least in terms of, a certain player or so from the Coal Miners that used to play for Färjestad, of course. So very interesting matchups coming up this Sunday. Very, very much looking forward to it. We hope you will join us for that. worth noting as well. I think we have some of the latest results. It was a very busy match day around the league, not just for what we covered on broadcast. How about that? Yippee Voskula earning a point, earning 2 points, I should say, beating Frölunda in overtime in their second matchup. Again, so much happening around the league. It's such a fast and furious pace that we have here.
Yeah, absolutely. And crazy kind of happenings here as Fediastad sort of falling further down the standings as you see dropping those 2 games to Sawo. And they've had a very tumultuous start. And you look down, then YMCA took a game off of Sawo. So it's just been wild action throughout the course of the ECL Elite, which is leading to some of the crazy discrepancy that we've seen in the standings so far.
And why not? You teed it up, and there we go. Of course, the left-hand side of the bracket, where you want to be. These teams now, at least a lot closer in terms of games played. Some as few as 10, some as many as 16, but everybody at least in double digits in terms of games played. And again, 4th place for Lunda, 17 points. Yes, with just 10 games played. YMCA is in 12th and just 3 points back. It is astonishing. And obviously, one of those things, sportsgamer.gg for all the info that, of course, that you need here. But of course, you can sort the standings by point percentage to maybe kind of give you a better outlook of what it is. But again, Sin, it's not too early that some of these teams need to be in panic mode, but it's still shocking to see the likes of HAVU and IQ, even Feriestad as well on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, I think the most shocking thing about Fediastad is that goal differential. They're actually -2 right now in that goal differential, which is simply something that we don't expect for them with the offensive capability that they have. And of course, with the goaltending in McSavid. And even at times, they've had their backup, whose name, of course, I'm blanking on right now. So very apologize to that. But both of them, very solid goaltenders who have had, great moments. But, there's something about Fediastad when you look at that lineup on paper. It looks incredible. And they just, again, haven't quite been able to put that together yet. And, still plenty of season left, but you don't want to leave it up till the last moment here. You want to get yourself into that left-hand side of the bracket.
So with that, everybody, that will do it for this particular broadcast. Again, we thank you, as always, for supporting us. Drop us a follow if you haven't. Again, of course, social media, SportsGamer GG. We will be back this Sunday, week 4, kicking off. Of course, until then, you can catch Sin on Twitter at SinForTheWinProd. He's on the YouTube side of things. He's on the Instagram side of things. He's making waves in the music world as well. Dare I say, he's a man of many talents. Make sure to follow him. I am everywhere at Tuki24. And of course, a big thank you to those behind the scenes that help make Sin and I look as good as we do. We will see you all this Sunday. Thank you again for supporting us. We'll catch you next time.